Hi, this is Mike from Pop Culture Madness, and we're outside of the Little Schubert Theater and getting ready to go in to see the play Potted Potter, which is all 7 of the Harry Potter books done in 70 minutes. We're really looking forward to the experience. Looks like a nice crowd, and again, you ready?
Okay.
Till you stumble.
Okay.
Go.
Potted Potter, potted Potter, potted Potter, potted Potter, I only got like 4.
Okay, you got 4. You're the first. Let me go find somebody else. You want to play?
Yes,
cool. There we go. All right. The prize is to go upstage after the show's over and meet the actors. Okay? What you have to do is say Potted Potter as fast as you can, as many times as you can. Now, I got 4 already. Okay, you're my number 2. Ready? Go.
Potted Potter, 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 potted.
Okay, we got up to about 7 there. Okay, so now you're in the running. That's great. Okay. No, don't go too far away. Let me see. Hi, excuse me. We're from Pop Culture Madness. We're a website, and we're doing a feature on this tonight, and we're running a contest. All you need to do is say Potted Potter over and over again until you stumble. And the person that says it best for the most times gets to go downstage at the end of the show and meet the actors. Do you want to give it a try?
All right, here we go. Ready?
Okay.
Potter, 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 Potter.
Okay, that's 16. That was good. That was absolutely excellent. Let me make sure I know where you're at, because actually, Kristen, I think that's it. We have our winner. Okay. Hey guys, we're backstage at the Little Schubert Theater, where it's an amazing spot. Yeah, I've seen worse. Anyway, after seeing an incredible performance of Potted Potter up here in New York City, and we have our 2 stars, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Dan, and this is
Jeff.
There you go.
That's it. That was smooth. Yeah, one take one.
Well, I do have to say it was an amazing show.
Oh, thank you very much.
I don't know how you guys keep in fact, how do you guys keep the energy up?
A lot of sleep, I think, or maybe not enough sleep. I think sometimes.
Off to a darkened room after each show, pretty much, and try and catch up. Not seeing as much of New York's nightlife as we maybe would like to.
We still have fun in the show, and I think that helps because we're having fun as well as the audience. And so you're having fun. You kind of keep your energy up and go, yeah, this is great. You know, enjoying myself.
It looks like there's a lot of ad lib up there. Is that yes? Is that, I was wondering how much of that. Is it? Are you guys surprising each other every night occasionally, or what goes on?
I think everything that looked like an ad-lib was once an ad-lib that happened, and we actually thought, well, actually, that's funnier than what we've written, so let's just do it that way. I would say about maybe 20% tonight.
Yeah, I would have said.
Because things like Quidditch, you can't predict what the children will do. I mean, I had no idea that tonight that little boy was going to grab Jeff, hang on for dear life, and body slam him to the floor. So as soon as that happens, you're like, well, we're going to ad-lib now. This is taking the show in a whole new direction.
Yeah,
it was beautiful.
I was surprised as well, and delighted.
Yeah.
Delighted he did.
Oh, that's going to be my happy place for a long time. He was tiny. He only came up to your knee.
Yes, I know.
The snake that got stuck on your rear end.
Oh, yes.
Did that happen purposely, or was that?
If we were good enough to do that on purpose,
I wish.
we'd have been off Broadway years ago with that.
I'd be in a basketball team right now if I could make that shot.
Once or twice in the past, it's gone around my neck.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't throw it every time. That was just because it all went a bit wrong, and so it's sort of faux panic, I guess. And yes, sticking to my nether regions.
Yeah,
was,
that was good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. No.
I mean, the snake's found its way into the audience before when I get a little bit overzealous and throw out, and then you have this woman with this Nagini sat on her head just looking at you like, right, okay.
Please don't sue us.
So it can happen.
From a technical standpoint, when we came in, we were greeted with the Warner Brothers music, and
It's not. No, it's not.
Oh, it's not.
A wonderful composer who Phil Innes, who composed this music years ago, 2006. And when we listened to it, we're like, oh, that's like it. But then if you listen to that and then listen to the Warner Brothers music, it's
similar.
Very different. It's just something about. He said something about the order of the notes makes it sound similar. It's a similar pattern, but
Yeah.
when you do listen to them side by side, they're very, very different. But
So it's to
we
make
love
you
it.
think you're listening
Yeah,
to it,
yeah,
but
absolutely.
it's not at all.
Yeah, it's
That's actually pretty amazing.
yeah.
We have the same thing with Jeff. You think you're watching Daniel Radcliffe, but actually it's not him.
Yeah, I know.
It's not. It's amazing.
As
You
soon as
know,
I take the glasses off,
Yeah.
it's like Clark Kent in
you know when you're
Superman.
up close
It's,
like this, you can see.
Absolutely.
Your advertisements, some of the things I've read talked about the fact that the show is unauthorized. What does J.K. Rowling think of it, or do you know?
I mean, I'm sure she loves that we take her lifetime's work and shorten it to 70 minutes. I can't see why she wouldn't love
We've
that.
had some of her team have been to see the show more than once, and they allow us to carry on doing what we're doing. They're being incredibly generous. And yes, we are completely unauthorized. You know, there's nothing from the films in the show or in the music. Yeah. You pointed out, definitely, that would be, parodying 101. Don't use the original music because, you'd be in a lot of trouble. But yeah, we've had some guys from the films come and see it as well, haven't we? Some of the actors. Dan's favourite being...
Warwick Davis came to see it.
And
cool. Yeah, exactly. I was just like, whoa, there's an Ewok. He was the Ewok. And so,
if there's anything Dan's more geeky about than Harry Potter, it's Star Wars.
It's
So
true.
Dan did get a little bit overexcited when
Yeah.
he met Warwick Davis.
But we had the problem when he came to see it, we didn't have his character of Professor Flitwick in the show. And we suddenly saw him sat in the front and we were like, well, we've got to put him in. And so in book 5, I kind of came out in my, sort of on my knees going, charmed. And then said, what do you think, Warwick? And he was like, yeah, you're too tall. And so that was our interaction on stage, so it was
It was
brilliant.
lucky he was in the front row, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, or we wouldn't have even known he was there.
spotted him,
Yeah.
That's actually a very good point. Beyond the energy level, what takes a lot out of you?
For me, it's the talking. It's I've struggled with my voice a little bit here.
Yeah.
Something to do with the New York air and then the air conditioning and all that sort of thing. So yeah, for me, it always has been because Dan runs around, Dan expends all the energy, and he's more likely to injure his legs or arms or something. But it's me who does the majority of the talking. So yeah, as much as I enjoy
Especially in
talking.
book 3 and Quidditch. Yeah. You talk loads.
Hey, I'm not talking about those bits. Hey, if you want to get scientific and measure it, I'm very happy.
I would say the worst thing is we're in the city that doesn't sleep, which, means that when you're doing a show like this and you go out and you go, oh, it doesn't sleep and it never stops and it's always going, and I'm in a restaurant and it's 5 a.m, oh no. And so I think that's, for me, that's where all my energy is going. I'm in this wonderful city and I'm trying to lap it all up in between the shows and then also try and conserve my energy.
Give ourselves a very strict bedtime, which is kind of tough because that's when everyone else is just starting to go out and the city wakes up. But hey,
especially I live just off Times Square, so I can hear it all. I'm like, ignore the sound.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Headphones on,
That's all
yeah.
right.
I just totally lost train of thought, but give me a second, it'll come back. I'm so sorry.
That's right, it happens to me a lot during the show. You might notice. As I'm there looking, I just say ladies and gentlemen, and that gives me enough time for my brain to go, it's the next book 4. Off we go.
Okay. Well, actually, the stuffed dragon. Now, when the Harry Potter books were out, you could buy toy stuffed dragons, and it really looked like one of the toy stuffed dragons.
No, actually, genuinely, we haven't heard that because in the UK, we didn't. That wasn't, or we didn't know that. We didn't know. You just taught us something right now, and that dragon was something that you found.
It's actually, the dragon is the only native New Yorker. I got it, I was out here on holiday last year, and I was in, Schwartz? FAO Schwartz, thank you. And they have this amazing puppet range, and there was this dragon, again, one of their own dragons, and I looked at it looked at me, and I was like, you're in the show, come on. And so I brought it back to England, toured England, and now we've come back to New York, and he's the actual native New Yorker. He's come back home.
Before that, it was a sort of oversized rubber sock puppet, really, wasn't
like
it? And
a chameleon
the reason we had to replace it was after 4 years of doing the show, Dan had managed to rot the rubber of it by
Just
getting
with
quite
the sweat.
warm during the show. Yeah. So yeah, that's just a happy coincidence that it looks like that.
I promise, nothing is from the films or merchandise. I promise, it's all unauthorized.
I wasn't trying to go there. Just you see this stuff, I'm thinking, no, I've seen that before. And I got to ask, what part of England are you guys from?
I'm from London.
Yeah, I live in London, but originally I'm from a tiny little island off the bottom of England called the Isle of Wight. There's only 90,000 of us on there, so we don't count
usually
for much.
let people off the island. We're surprised
That's it,
he made it off.
I had to
be
swim.
honest.
Yeah.
I have to say I'm a huge Doctor Who fan and a huge Torchwood fan. So, when I hear the accents, I tend to bring that up. And how do you feel being over here when all the attention's over there?
It's tough, I think.
It's
Yeah,
tough.
I think first time I was ever homesick was the day of the opening ceremony,
Yeah.
and where you watched it on TV, and everyone's like, all my friends are messaging, going, "Oh, London's great, and it's clean, and there's this happening, there's that," and you're like, "Oh, good." That's
The only good thing is, if there was anywhere in the world we had to be right now other than London, it would be here. Because, and it sounds so corny, we're both totally fallen in love with the city.
Yeah.
It's sort of, if I had to live somewhere outside of England, I think it would be New York, hands down, because it really is the city that never sleeps, as opposed to London, which is the city that never sleeps.
until bedtime.
Yeah, absolutely, that's it.
has
They
a nap.
try and do the same, and it all ends at 2 a.m. But yeah, here it's the real deal. So you want a burger at 5 in the morning, there's somewhere to have a burger. It's brilliant. We've both put on about £15 each since we've been here.
Great.
I've seen what
I
you
run
eat.
around.
While you're here, have you done any of the other Broadway shows?
Yeah, we went to see Peter and the Starcatcher, which was phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely
I mean, it was
amazing.
Brilliant.
Yeah. If you're not going to come see our show, go and see that one, and I managed to get a ticket for Book of Mormon as well, which I was desperate to see it, so I paid through the nose for it, and it was absolutely amazing. I loved it. I was always going to. I'm a bit of a Trey Parker and Matt Stone fanboy, so I was always going to enjoy that. But yeah, they're the only two I've managed to get to.
Oh, and I saw Cirque as well. I went to see that.
Okay.
Just because, I mean, it was in Radio City Musical, which I think is probably the greatest theatre in the world. Like, next to the London Palladium is just these iconic buildings. So the show was all right, but I was just more looking at the building.
Yeah. The problem we have is we have Mondays off, which is the same day that every other show has off as well. So it's only been sort of on special days we've been able to get to see other shows.
Well, I mean, you got over here at the right time, because the city's really cleaned up now, and it's a lot different than it was 30 years ago, and I shouldn't really tell you that.
I would have been doing the show when I was 3 then, so it would have been a bit more tricky and probably wouldn't have made a lot of sense.
I'd have been 1.
Yeah, and you'd have been 1, yeah. So it's-
Great, I'd have been 22. Anyway.
we'd all be sad.
It'd be a very different, quite awkward interview, wouldn't it? Why are you two here? What are you doing? Why am I talking to you? We're great.
Where do you go from here?
It's a good question. Well, we've just announced that we're playing in Chicago over Thanksgiving and Christmas, which we've known about for a little while. We haven't been allowed to say. This is all very new to us. It's all very different doing shows out here. It's all very secretive and a big announcement. Whereas at home, people go, "Where are you next?" "Oh, we're off to Hull." You know, we just tell people it's fine. But yeah, we've got about 6 weeks off, which is really exciting. We get to go home and catch up with people in Chicago. And then next year, we don't really know yet. It's all up in the air,
all
isn't
over
it?
yeah, I think there is. We're coming back to the tri-state area and going around, and it's almost like this. You're there with a map of America and going, "Well, I'd like to see there, and that looks nice, and we can go through there and go and see the biggest ball of yarn over here. That'll be brilliant. So let's put the show there."
Except we don't get the choice, do we?
No,
That's
we
the
don't get
problem,
the choice, no.
We get put on a plane or a bus and go, "Right, you're going that way." "All right, we'll do the show there." So, but yeah, we're looking forward to Chicago. Neither of us have ever been before, and it's meant to be an awesome city as well.
Actually, Chicago is really, really cool, and their pizza is awesome.
So I hear. Yeah, I'm
Really
excited
about that.
Very excited about that.
We're actually both from outside of Philadelphia. Actually, I'm from outside of Philadelphia, and Kristen is from Delaware. Anyway, just wondering, any possibilities of you guys coming down that way?
Sure, you've just invited us. I'll come.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
it.
with the show, or just generally pop in for tea and sandwiches and say hi.
We'd love to. At the moment, like we said, there is a sort of a basic US tour that's being put together for next year, but we genuinely don't get told where
I
it
like
is.
Philadelphia
yet.
to be. I would like to see
Philadelphia
Philadelphia.
would be awesome.
And I have this dream of licking the Liberty Bell, so I'd need to go to Philadelphia for that.
Why lick it?
So you could taste liberty. It makes sense.
Makes no
Why
sense.
would you not do it?
You're taking things far too literally.
Oh, fair enough. I just thought I'd give it a shot, see what happens.
Well,
I
don't.
might be arrested in
You might,
Philadelphia. I might be there for a
I don't
while.
think you'll get there.
actually. Yeah.
I think your tongue will be quite a few yards away from it before you're taken down.
Well, if I'm not wrong, don't people go to Ireland and kiss the Blarney Stone?
Same
that's
thing.
true.
It's
Yeah.
exactly the same thing.
What,
Lick
so you're
the Liberty
so
Bell.
you're tasting
it's
the
gonna
Blarney?
be a thing. Licking the Liberty.
It's going to be a thing, is
It's
it?
going to be a thing.
Are you starting it right now?
Yeah, why not?
Good luck with that.
I'll send you a little one, and you can get started.
The whole thing in
I'll
your
get
mouth.
going, yeah.
We may have chocolate ones, come to think of it.
That'll
Oh,
do.
that I understand. That's fine.
Because I could do the Liberty Bell, the Statue of Liberty, anything with Liberty in the title.
You
I'll go
haven't
around.
licked the Statue of Liberty.
I couldn't get close enough
Yeah,
because
exactly.
they were doing the work on it.
Do you
but
not
otherwise,
think you have the same problem with the Liberty Bell?
yeah, but you could normally because you can climb up it.
There'll be
so-
security at the
No,
Liberty
I
Bell.
reckon you could.
Yeah,
I
but
think the interview was going to go in this direction.
No, but hey, our viewers are going to be really happy. I actually have a few friends that when they found out that I was coming to this, they were like really, really jealous, just so you know. One of them lives out in California and another one lives in Vegas. So, and they were
both of them. Just for the record,
I'd love to be in
both
Vegas.
of those people I'm very jealous of. Yeah.
well, the one actually works for Disney, so if you guys could hook up with them, that'd be kind of cool.
They'll be fine with that, won't they? Unauthorized, authorized, I don't know.
Disney love that sort of thing, I think.
With your personal lives, married, kids, anything like that?
No. Well, I'm single. He has got a significant
I have
other.
got a significant other who she's thrilled that I'm away for months on end. But I've managed to fly her out here sort of every month while we've been out here. So it's kind of a compromise. She gets a trip to New York and she allows me to be here to do it. But you know, it's what Skype was made for. Yeah. So I think that's.
She allows you. Did you say?
She allows. Yeah. Oh, come on.
Yeah, I know.
Don't try and tell me women aren't in charge. Okay, we can go around going, yeah, but it's come on.
We're meant to pretend they're
Yeah,
not.
whatever. They've been in charge for years, and I'm happy to accept that. You get an easier life.
It's much more comfortable, isn't it?
Right now, I'm the lieutenant. She's the general, so let's just.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think lieutenant's generous, to be honest.
Yeah, private is closer to it, but
Private. I know my place. It was amazing. She actually packed or helped me pack when we came out here. It was amazing how many of my clothes I didn't like anymore, and I didn't realise. She was like, "You don't like this T-shirt?" Really, I don't. She goes, "No, you don't. Throw it away." Okay.
The other problem is when you go to pack to go back, you will not get that all
I
back
don't know
in
how
there.
she does
Not
it.
a chance.
That is
Yeah.
a secret women have, how they can do that. And
Yeah,
they can
yeah.
pack it all, and it's tiny. I mean, I tried. I can't do it. You're going to have to fly her out to pack for me. That's the only choice.
hey, that would be a farewell trip.
She'd like that, yeah.
Absolutely,
Fly
I
her
think
out.
she'll fall for that.
Yeah, I'm sure if I told her, I need someone to pack for me, so I'm going to fly you out. And she'd be like, oh, thanks. Thanks
Yeah,
for
yeah.
needing me.
Now, you guys are obviously very high energy, very much on the key to try to figure out what to make a joke out of. Have that been the way you've been all your life, or is this something you've kind of honed in?
Yeah, I think so. When I was a kid, I didn't necessarily realise that's what I was doing. I wasn't necessarily the class joker or anything, but yeah, I've always sort of in a social group, always try and be the one to make other people laugh.
Yeah. And I think I was bad at soccer, which is what they play at all the schools. I was terrible at it. So the only thing I could do was make people laugh, and then that way I could be in the groups. Because, so I made it into a clowning thing, and I deliberately fall over, and we go, oh, he's terrible. I go, I know, yeah. And so we had fun with that, and that stopped. I mean, I was 6 foot when I was 12 years old and had a big afro haircut. I mean, I needed to find comedy quickly, or school was going to be a living hell for me. So that's, I think, why
Poke fun at yourself before other people do it. Yeah, I fell into that as well.
I looked like an albino Jackson 5 when I was growing up, but they'd been stretched out. It was really
All five of them?
All five of them
On each other's shoulders.
Yeah.
Now, during the show, you guys take a pot shot of The Lord of the Rings and The Chronicles of Narnia. They were great pot shots. What do you think of the books?
When I was a kid, I was absolutely in love with the Chronicles of Narnia. I read the first one when I was about 7, and all through middle school I just read through them all and genuinely loved them. I really enjoyed The Hobbit. I never got on with Lord of the Rings as a kid. I don't know if I was too young, and I've never really gone back to it, but Narnia certainly was
No, I'm a
big with
huge
me.
fan of both of them, and and I like the films as well. Disney does Narnia. I like Disney.
Who's that for?
I'm just smoothing bridges, just in case. You don't know. Mickey might be watching. He's everywhere.
Yeah, you do not want to get on the wrong side
Yeah,
of him.
exactly.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of both the books and the films. I think they're brilliant. I think we always thought originally that we would maybe do a sort of Lord of the Rings trilogy next. But there's a great guy, I forget his name, American guy, who did a one-man Star Wars, and he did one-man Lord of the Ring. And it's kind of, there's this unwritten rule that if someone else has done it, you go, there you go, that's yours.
Yeah.
You do this, we'll do that. And that's, with the one- and two-man parodies, we all sort of agree. We will have meetings once a week and go, hey, how are you doing, Doctor Who Abridged? Oh, I'm very well, thanks, nice to see you.
Now, I noticed in the program that one of your things was potted panto. Are you talking about the British pantomime, or is that something else?
Yeah, no,
British pantomime.
we've both, if you're an actor in Britain, you are almost guaranteed work over Christmas in pantomime at some level. It's and it's a very odd tradition, sort of men dress as women, girls dress as boys, and then they have to kiss each other, and it's all very rude, bawdy humour, and yet we bring our kids to it and make them enjoy it. And Dan and I have both done pantos in the past, and I'm very proud of that show. I find it an awful lot of fun to perform, and we get to wear dresses. So we've dressed up as wizards. Now we get to dress up as ladies.
I think we're
as well.
doing sort of 8 pantomimes, which are like essentially fairy stories in 80 minutes. So you're doing like Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty and Snow White, and so you get to dress up and be princesses and fairies and princes, and it's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun to do that, and also at Christmas, so you get that Christmas spirit, and But I don't know how it would transpose over here, because we had. Actually, when we did it in London, we had a lot of American tourists coming to see it because they felt it helped them understand pantomime, so then they could go and see a pantomime. But still, it's a very strange thing.
I don't know if it's something we would bring over here. We'd love to, but I don't know if we'd find a producer who would be
willing
to
risk
understand.
it.
Exactly,
Because it really is men dressed as women
yeah.
shouting at the audience shout out. It's like Rocky Horror Show for kids, because everyone knows the ad-libs and they know what to shout out and they know what's meant to happen.
Yeah, it is. It's a very odd tradition. I mean, it's the closest thing legitimately to Shakespearean theatre left, but you wouldn't really recognise it because we don't think of Shakespearean theatre like that. But theatre back then was like that. Everyone shouting out, everyone shouting back, cross-dressing and all that, and it's kind of continued down. It probably should have been got rid of a while ago, but we're clinging on.
Never get rid of cross-dressing. That's why I went into this business.
Well, that's the message you're leaving them all with, isn't it?
But you do, you get to dress up. I get to be a wizard on this, I get to be a princess in the other one. We did a show about pirates, so we could be pirates. It's like, what next? I might do cowboys. Astronauts.
Potted planets. There you go.
Potted planet. That was good. I like that one.
Yeah. That's it. I'm going to shut up now. I'm not going to get back.
Well, you could do cow pie cowboys, but that would be gross. Anyway. Well, you know what? I want to thank you guys. It's been terrific, and I know we both had an incredible time. You guys are wonderful. We definitely wish you the best of. Hey, you're more than welcome, and I actually brew a really good pot of tea.
Done.
Thank goodness.
Done.
Thank
Done.
goodness
I'm glad
someone
someone
does
can
out
here.
Wow.
Seriously.
Yeah. In 3.5 months, it's a decent cup of tea.
Well, actually, you'll find us. Our website is Pop Culture Madness, and you'll find us there. It would be, cool, but we'll be showing this.
Pop Culture Madness, come in there for tea.
Maybe do a show, but maybe do a show.
And we'll bring you in, and we will treat you right.
Done.
we like
done.
to hear.
Sold.
Absolutely.
Done. Absolutely. We'll bring the wizards, you bring the tea. We're done.
That's a party right there, isn't it?
Well, again, thank you guys, and really terrific luck in the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Lovely to do this. Thank you.